smart people. I'm Lisa, and today we're going to take a deeper dive into the assessment process and how to make it work for your benefit.
How can I get a job without an interview?
Because you've already learned how they can offer you a job without an interview, but now you need to find out what you can do to make it possible. Today, let's look again at another slide that was taken from a conference when they rolled out USAJOBS for the hiring managers. The assessments are covered as a questionnaire. When do you get them? When you click apply. You're taken on warp speed to the assessment, which I like to also call a test. This slide here provides you with the background knowledge, the insight on how they make up the questionnaire. Now, what's most telling is the language used, the screening factors used to rate applicants as eligible versus ineligible, and ranked in a list. The assessment questionnaires are designed systematically to assess applicants' previous related experience, critical requirements, and competencies. In other words, knowledge, skills, and abilities.
So now in part one, you learned how they do it or why they would do it. And now you found out how you can be prepared.
Now rewind. Rank applicants as eligible or ineligible. Now, what would it possibly matter if you were highly qualified, sort of qualified, overqualified, and all those different qualifieds that they list there, if they're simply getting down to eligible and ineligible? Smart people. That's what we are. Smart. The same was true then. The same is true now. The process isn't broken for the federal government. Actually, it's quite effective. It's broken for you. Well, correction. It's not broken for you. It's broken to you because you're just not accustomed to this kind of scrutiny. Now, here's an example of a minimum qualification question. Simple. But let me ask you, at least those who have been following me for a while, do these sentences look familiar, succinct, and well written?
Why, indeed they do, Lisa.
If you have watched any of my Work Wednesdays, you know how simple, easy I've made those sentences for you to acquire from me for free. Because the key to getting a federal job without an interview, if it's available, if the HR determines it's necessary, is to make sure that your resume reflects and provides the validation of the answers that you're giving in the assessment tool. I'm confident that this information I'm sharing with you is a benefit. So please hit that like button and benefit this channel by letting YouTube's algorithm know that I should be shared. Skills-based assessments will also support agencies as they prepare for the future of work. And as technology changes, the economy, and the way the government services are delivered, the skills necessary for success in any job is changing rapidly. Skills-based assessments can inform agencies on how to upscale their hiring process and onboard people with approaches that the government can use for their success readily and for long term. Those words come directly from the press release that I covered here. By the time you receive that tentative offer, you've been fully screened. HR can then solicit, review the information and selective information that they've asked for, such as your DD-214, your OF-306, your SF-50. All that stuff has already been acquired because you provided it to them in your initial application, which essentially is USAJOBS. Smart people are also patient people, because it takes time for them to identify the best candidate for the position. They're going to review all of their process and make sure they check off every box. References, SF-50 if you've been a previous employee, DD-214 if you're the military. All of that information they have to go over to assure you, the taxpayer, as well as the applicant. Ultimately, it boils down to effective personnel assessments, which involves the systematic approach to gathering all that information about applicants and their qualifications. See, that word, it's theirs, not mine. It was theirs in 2011 and it's theirs now. Systematic, basing personnel assessments closely on the job analysis results. Connects between the job requirements and the personal assessments tools. And that way they can provide a transparent process in improving the fairness for hiring, which is what we want. Now, one thing we absolutely don't want in the government, we don't want bias. And in order to do that, these assessment tools provide the critical analysis to connect between the job requirements and your personal assessment, which makes the government more transparent and provides the fairness in the process. So yes, you can get a well-paying federal job without an interview because you've been fully assessed. Even before that, the question is, are you fully prepared? Well, you can be if you stay right here with easy federal resumes and more. Bye for now.